Shalom, giving all praises and glory to our power Yahweh, Baha Shem Yahweh Shai, Baha Shem Rachak Kodash, double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and wherever you may be, wherever you may be, to you I say Shalom and Shalom. All right, going to get into something quick here. Um, Two different things here, but they are both from camp. And this first thing is going to be real brief. Um, from when was that? That had to be. This was from Saturday camp. All right. And just going into it. Let me get on the screen here. All right. Isaiah 65 and the very last verse here. Right here. Yep. So this is from camp Saturday. All right. So Isaiah 65 and 25 says, "The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock." Okay, peace with the animals and stuff like that. Well, even amongst animals, I should say. And then it goes on to say, "And dust shall be the serpent's meat; they shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountains," said the Lord Yahweh Shai. All right, because I mentioned something because I was just thinking of out loud, but because it does really serve as meat, so on and so forth. And I can't remember exactly what I said. I was trying to get my video, but it's in my other device and it hasn't uploaded yet. But I know I said something about confusion. But anyways, just correct those thoughts there. Um, Basically, just straightforward, like when all things are said and done, the kingdom is established. And, basically when Yahweh Shai is here, he's going to put all the heathen nations in subjection. So there's going to be no one that rises up, you know, against us. All right. Let me see what we in the AMP. It says, "And dust will be the serpent's food. They will do no evil or harm in all my holy mountain, Zion," said the Lord Yahweh. All right. So not to us or to any of our lands ever again. And there's, well, actually probably two. I was going to say one, two precepts, or really three, but the first two here, they're the same. We're only going to get one of them, which is in Isaiah 2, Micah 4, right? And then there's one more, because I know I quote that one all the time. So yeah, two precepts. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, is that it? Yep, Micah 4 and 3. I'll light it up for you. So it says, "And he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore." All right. So no one's going to be learning war anymore. So no one's going to be standing up to fight each other, and definitely not against us. When Yahweh Shai has come and established all things. All right. And actually, now that I think about it, Amos 9, there's a similar thing said there, which also another chapter in Isaiah, where it talks about how the Lord's going to plant us and no one's going to pluck us up ever again. Okay, actually that's pretty much a good one right there. But I'm gonna get this other one, Zechariah 2. And right here, verse starting at 5, it says, I can probably get 4. And Zechariah 2 and 4, "And said unto him, Run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem shall be inhabited as town without walls for the multitude of men and cattle therein." All right, substance and wealth, and how we're gonna, because we're gonna be immortal, we're gonna continue to spread out. Okay. And anyways, the point, verse 5 says, "For I, said the Lord Yahweh, will be unto her a wall of fire round about, and will be the glory in the midst of her." All right. So if you read the AMP, it says, "For I, declares the Lord Yahweh, will be a wall of fire around her, protecting her from enemies, and I will be the glory in her midst." So there you go. Just backing up the point that we were reading, Isaiah 65, and the very last verse. I forget what number it was, but the very last verse. Now, the other thing here, that was from, what is it? What's the day? Wednesday or Tuesday? I think today's Tuesday. Or was that Sunday? No, I believe it was Monday. So yeah. So this other thing we're gonna jump to real quick from Monday. Yeah, it had to be Monday. Which that video, should be uploaded by now, or we'll see. I mean, it's taking a while to upload, but it should be uploaded by the time this gets up. But basically, just going into this random guy that came up, he was talking about which he was talking about some, worldly stuff, old drugs, this and drugs that, not old money. So, this, which at the time, obviously that was a missed opportunity. Okay, so I want to come back and, you know, um, pull up some scriptures. All right, going to that topic. All right, I mean, because you can't go back in the past, so missed opportunity at camp, but I'm still able to come back and edify now, which was going to about owing money. Right, he was saying something about just talking worldly and drug stuff, and the guy punched me in the face, and I gotta owe him his money and gotta pay him back, and he said he's gonna do this and that. So all those different things that were said there. I'm not getting to all that. So what I will do is get into the scriptures here. All right, to Lord willing edify about owing money. All right. So Leviticus 25. We're gonna start here. Down here at verse. Here it is, 35. It says, "A poor countryman, um, and if thy brother be waxen poor, and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. Uh, yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee." All right. Both of these are referring to Israelites, stranger, sojourner. All right. Um, Take thou no usury of him, or increase, but fear thy power, that thy brother may live with thee. Okay. And let me see if I can get this word usury on this one real quick. Which is in the shock in the Hebrew. Interest, usury. All right. But like you have loan companies today, they'll say, well, they might say, because you might get denied for it, but they'll say, okay, we'll loan you this money, but then you have to pay us this amount back. So we'll loan you 500, but you owe us 750 or whatever the case may be. All right, interest and usury to interest. Matter of fact, we can get a simple Google on usury since we're here. Why not? Usury is the illegal, unethical, or exorbitant practice of lending money at an unfairly high interest rate. See, it occurs when a lender charges a rate that exceeds the maximum legal limit set by law. Colloquially, this practice is often referred to as loan sharking. There you go. That's why I mentioned the loan companies, which I guess you could say banks do it too. But you probably have a better chance of getting a loan from a loan shark than, from a bank. But anyways, also from the Merriam-Webster, the meaning of usury is the lending of money with an interest charge for its use, especially the lending of money at an exorbitant interest. Let me just read there. So yeah, so there you go. So interest, look, there you go. The Strong's definition: interest on a debt. Okay. Okay, I want to get back here. So I'm gonna keep reading down a few more verses. So verse 37 says, "Thou shalt not give money." I'm sorry, thou shalt not give him thy money upon usury, nor lend him thy victuals for increase. All right. It says, "I am the Lord Yahweh, your power, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt, to give you the land of Canaan, and to be your power. And if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxen poor, and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bond servant, okay, but as an hired servant." Okay, read the AMP on that. "And if your fellow countryman becomes so poor in his dealings with you that he sells himself to you as payment for a debt, you should not let him do the work of a slave who is ineligible for redemption." Right? "But he is to be with you as a hired man, as if he were a temporary resident. He shall serve with thee. He shall serve with you until the year of Jubilee." Okay. Now, of course, like I said, this guy was talking about, worldly stuff, and he was, talking about drugs and all this kind of madness. But, we're going into the scriptures, just try to edify, on a different standpoint. What was I looking for? Oh, here it is. Jubilee. All right. Yahweh Ball. Jubilee year marked by the blowing of cornets. I thought they actually give us some more than that. Um, Basically, the year of release. Okay, actually thought it would give us some more there. But let's keep reading. It says, "And then shall he depart from thee, both he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family, and unto and unto the possession of his fathers shall he return." Excuse me. "For they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen. Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but shall fear thy power." All right. So I'm gonna get another one here. Um, Go over here to the New Testament. We'll go Romans. Here it is, 13. Romans 13, up past it, and 8. I light it up for you. So it says, "Owe no man anything, but to love one another, for he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law." All right. And even to say the least, when it comes down to the law, basically, if you know, do unto others as you have done unto you. Okay, so if you will not like something done to you, then don't do it to someone else. Okay, I guess that's to say the least, to put it in probably the most basic form here. I guess we read the MP. "Owe nothing to anyone except to love and seek the best for one another. For he who unselfishly loves his neighbor has fulfilled the essence of the law. Law relating to one's fellow man." But the point we're trying to make here says the best in the KJV. "Owe no man anything." All right. So there you go. And matter of fact, let's just do this. I mean, I'm pretty sure we don't have to bring this up, but I want to do it anyways. If I can find, yep, here it is. Owe, all right. To owe money, to be in debt for that which is due, the debt, metaphorically, the goodwill due, right? Because if you owe, you have to pay, okay? And it's best really not to owe, right? There's another account actually where Paul spoke to, I forget what church it was, but I'm almost going to say it was Corinth, but I might be wrong. But he pretty much saying, you shouldn't be taking this to I don't think he exactly said Roman courts or whatever, the authorities, but basically you should be able to settle disputes amongst yourselves, according to our laws amongst yourselves, and not have to go to these heathens to settle your disputes, right? Taking each other to the courts in front of one another, all right? Underneath the heathens, you should be able to settle disputes yourselves, all right? That's the other small example. Excuse me. So yeah, owe no man anything. All right, let's move on to get this. Old Testament Proverbs 22. Okay, and let me slide down here to 3, actually 24. As a matter of fact, I'll light it up for you. I'll light my scriptures up. I be thinking sometimes some scriptures are lit up already. I think, I don't know, I'm not sure, because there's be some scriptures sometimes where I thought I lit them up, but I didn't. But anyways, Proverbs 22 and 24. It says, "Make no friendship with an angry man." Okay. Now, once again, going back to what the guy was talking about. Oh, I owe him money. Or the guy punched me in the face, and you know what? I was wanting to fight, but I didn't fight back because I was in the wrong, and so on and so forth. And da 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 da. Right. Some other things he said too, but I'm just trying to, pull that point across so we can read for it in the scripture, right? So it says, "Make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man thou shalt not go, lest thou learn his ways and get a snare to thy soul." So this is how, old buddy, if that was even a real scenario, okay, who knows? But anyways, this is how old buddy got himself into that scenario that he was in. All right, being threatened and owing someone and being threatened. All right, because you dealt with an angry man, and who was about money, and now you owe him money. Okay, once again, that's if the scenario was even real, but nonetheless, we're going to use it anyways to just try to edify. All right. Um, let's read the AMP real quick. Do not even associate with a man given to angry outbursts or go along with a hot-tempered man, or you will learn his undisciplined ways and get yourself trapped in a situation from which it is hard to escape. There you go. Going back to the KJV to get the next two verses, verse 26. But I'm sorry, be not thou one of them that strike hands. You see that? Or of them that are sureties for debts. And the AMP says, do not be among those who give pledges involving themselves in others' finances, or among those who become guarantors for others' debts. Yeah. So someone has a debt. Don't. It's just like what Esau does, because he will like if you want to get a car and you need a co-signer, all right? So if you start to fall on those car payments because you don't own the car yet, they'll go to the person that co-signed for you and say, hey, you're responsible for taking up these payments. Why? Because the person who originally wanted that car, they are not making due on their payments. And so because you co-sign for them, you are just as much in debt to pay on this car as they are. Okay? And I guess you have two scenarios where someone might say, okay, all right, I'm gonna pay this, but I'm gonna talk to them, all right? Because I'm not gonna keep doing this. And then you have others that say, well, you're gonna have to take the car because I ain't paying. But so yeah, that's a good example right there. So be not thou one of them that strike hands, or of them that are sureties for debts. So actually, we just hit two birds with one stone right there. He was talking about fighting, all right, and then going back to the debt. Now, verse 27 says, "If thou hast nothing to pay, why should he take away thy bed from thee?" And the NP reads, "If you have nothing with which to pay another's debt when he defaults, why should his creditor take your bed from under you?" All right. So you don't want to be caught in that scenario there. Okay, going back to the Romans 13:8 we read, "Oh no man nothing." All right, and we're going to leave you with this last one here, which is Psalms 37th chapter. Just one verse, and I'll light it up for you, as I always do. I use this one. So Psalms 37:21. The wicked borroweth and payeth not again. Going back to Romans 13:8. Oh no man nothing. All right. So the wicked borroweth and payeth not again, because you do have individuals out here who, will swear on their life, their children, whatever. All right, that I will promise you I will pay you back. Okay, but they have no intention of doing it. But that's also why bringing up the law, because you do have those that are sincere that may need some help to borrow, but then they're not able to pay it back, and so it may get brushed off like, all right, okay, cool, it's all right. I understand that you had intention to pay it back, but you're just not able to. All right, but then you do have the opposite side where individuals know that they can get something from you in intention of just getting your money and never having intention of paying you back, or whatever the case may be. So the wicked borroweth and payeth not again, but the righteous sheweth mercy and giveth. Right? It says in MP, the wicked borrows and does not pay back, but the righteous is gracious and kind and gives. All right, but scriptures do speak about knowing who you do, knowing to who you do good to. All right, roughly paraphrasing, pretty much what I'm trying to say here. Because I have this one guy at my main spot, all right, who he doesn't care about the gospel of the law. Okay, every time he sees me, he got his hand out because he just wants some. He just wanted drink. All right, go buy him some drink. Okay, and a lot of times he's lying, talking about he needs food. And see, little does he know, I've seen him multiple times come creeping from out behind the houses because his apartment's across the highway. I seen him, long before he comes. I see him because he's in the back, at the back of the apartments, and then all of a sudden he just pops up like he just came out of nowhere. Okay, but I know he just wants money. He doesn't care about the gospel. In fact, the last time I was there was some people sitting down at the table doing whatever they were doing, and he was sitting down there talking pretty much in Spanish, and he's basically he pretty much bad mouthing what I was doing. Okay, and then close to the end of camp, all right, one of the ladies got up and she, like mocking me, but I didn't pay it no mind because the gospel is for you, because you are an Israelite. You so-called Israelites and Native Americans, all Israelites, but because of him, all right, she believed him, okay, and mocked me. but she pretty much made herself fall short. She marked herself because she didn't want to hear what was being said. Okay. Now the other lady that was with her kind of seemed like she was listening here and there. So, but that that one chick, she got up and mocked me as she was they were closing up their table or whatever, and that guy was he plays a part in that. All right. Um, but hey, it is what it is. I was just mentioning that because I thought about it because that's what this guy does. All right, every time. Okay, he doesn't care about the word. He just he plays friendly to see if he can get a buck out of me. All right. Now it's different when somebody's sincere and you really see they need help. Okay, but this guy's just he just wants money. Okay, for no reason. But I think pretty much the point is made there. All right. Let's talk about the first thing. Okay. What was that? Oh yeah, Isaiah 65, that very last verse, whatever verse that is, and then, you know, going back to this one here, um, about owing, okay, owing money. All right. So, I'll probably leave it at that. No need to force it. Lord willing, you edify the next. Now, that's what I want to say. Shalom.